Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Recovery Classroom. My name is Drew. I'm an alcoholic, and today, by the grace of God, I'm a recovering alcoholic, and I could not be any more grateful. Thank you guys to everyone who came out to the Crosstalk meeting last night. We had such a great time, great turnout, great conversation. I just love the way we facilitate that meeting. If you're not local to the Huntington, West Virginia area, you can join us for Crosstalk tonight. Crosstalk online tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. You can go to recoveryclassroom.org/XTO or just type in crosstalkmeeting.org to find out how to connect tonight at 9 o'clock with a bunch of like-minded drunks and drug addicts trying to get sober and stay sober. One of the topics, the last topic actually that came in from last Tuesday night's meeting, most say it's unhealthy to start a new relationship in the first year of sobriety. What do you think? In general, in principle, I agree. I agree, but there's a couple caveats to that. One, I didn't get into a relationship whenever I was first got sober. Right, I've been married 20 years, so I was already in a relationship. So I can't speak to that experience. I can't speak to the experience of navigating those waters while I'm trying to get sober, navigating the relationship while I'm trying to get sober, definitely. But this is very specific about new relationship, right? So I can't speak to that. However, I can just share my thoughts, just logical application, logical, rational thoughts. And so I hope you can take something away from that. We got to understand something here. There's no unwritten rule that says you can't get into relationships. Really, the unwritten rule is you don't want to make any major life changes. Don't want to make any major life changes. That can involve a job. That can involve a relationship. There's a lot there going on, right? And the reason why is we don't want to inadvertently throw these stumbling blocks in front of us as we're moving forward in our journey through recovery. And time again, I know I've been the guy to trip myself up. Over the years, I remember trying to get sober before, over the last 20 years, 25 years, trying to get sober. And I would be the one tripping myself up. And to that point, it took years of abuse, years of neglect by my own hand to bring me to my rock bottom, right? So did I really think that I was going to pull myself up and out of rock bottom, to start making rational decisions after just 2 to 3 months? Even though, sure, maybe I hadn't drank for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. But sure, the alcohol's out of my system clearly by 90 days. All the alcohol I drank is out of my system. But the physical damage was still there. The physical damage was still there. The damage to my liver, the damage to my tissues, to my brain, it was still there. And see, it takes our body time to heal itself, to repair itself. Especially, it could take the brain up to 2 years. So do I really think I'm in a position, just having alcohol out of my system, say 6 months? My brain may still not be fully repaired to start making rational decisions. Great example. Over the years, trying to get sober, periods where I was sober, I still made stupid-ass decisions. Case in point, getting my wife an anniversary card for our anniversary and giving it to her on mine and my ex-wife's anniversary. Yeah, I did that. Or when my wife walks in her Easter dress 2 days before she gave birth to our daughter, this beautiful yellow Easter dress, and she asked me, "What do you think?" I made the comment, "It looks like Big Bird," meaning yellow. You don't tell a pregnant woman she looks like Big Bird. So, and I did these things while I was sober, right? So, if I can't make rational decisions while I'm sober, what makes me think I'm going to make rational, logical decisions whenever alcohol's only been out of my system 6 months? Man, I talk about hot water. Yeah, let me tell you. Here's what it all boils down to. The reason why relationships are so dangerous early in recovery is because it's easy for us to misplace this love that we're giving to somebody else, or this love we're giving to somebody else that we should be reserving for ourselves. So the love I feel for Susie, I should probably be reserving for myself, because again, I spent years and years and years not loving myself. I spent years and years and years neglecting and abusing my body, abusing my mind and my spirit. And so early in sobriety, when I'm 2, 3 months, 6 months in, I could end up giving my love away that I should be reserving for myself. And then what happens? What happens if, God forbid, the relationship doesn't work out, the relationship falls apart, and Susie leaves? Well, I've given Susie all my love that I should have been, reserving for me. I've given Susie all my love, and Susie takes that love away. I can't get it back. Once I give her that love, I can't get it back. And so now I've got this big ass hole, this void back in my life again, and I'm only 6 months sober. It makes logical sense to me now that if I got this big hole, I gave all my love to Susie, Susie took off and split down the road, I'm back to square one because I don't have, there's no love for me. So how do I cope with that big void in my heart? I go back to using. I go back to drinking. And that's why there's that unspoken rule. We just don't want to make any major life changes, especially when it comes into relationships. We can end up, thinking that I love Susie, and then, 6 months into my sobriety, while Susie may still be there, Susie could become a very toxic person and jeopardize my sobriety. That's happened too. I've seen that happen. At the end of the day, these are just guidelines. They're not rules you have to follow. You absolutely have to follow. There are exceptions. For me, I think it makes sense that if you are going to get into a relationship, if you do think that you're going to get into a relationship, first and foremost, talk to your sponsor, engage your sponsor, make sure your sponsor is aware so they can at least guide you. A couple of guidelines you might want to apply if you are going to get into a relationship. One, makes sense to me not to get into a relationship with somebody who's not in recovery or who's in recovery. You want to get into a relationship with somebody who may not be in recovery, right? That way it decreases the chances of somewhat anyway of you might go back out and relapse. And maybe I've seen people come in recovery and they get into relationships with people in recovery, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But what happens is one person will relapse and it causes the other person to relapse. I understand that. So if you are going to get into a relationship, you try to find somebody who's not in recovery. If you are, again, we can't control who we love. So if you are going to get into a relationship, you are falling for someone in recovery, I think it's important that make sure it's somebody with some extended period of sobriety time. Don't fall in love with somebody in recovery who's only got 3 months of recovery, just like you do. Don't fall in love with somebody in recovery that's got 6 months of recovery, just like you do. If you're going to get serious with somebody, make sure they've got some significant recovery time. A year. That makes sense to me. I'm going to fall in love with Susie because Susie's got a year. Okay, that makes sense to me. It sounds a lot more plausible to me. But keep in mind, somebody you fall in love with somebody who's got 18 months of sobriety. That person may be able to help you. So again, these are just guidelines, not dead set rules. At the end of the day, you definitely want to make sure that you keep your sponsor engaged and aware of the feelings. That's why they're your sponsor, right? Of the feelings that you're experiencing, because that can help make you aware of any potential pitfalls that you may encounter throughout your journey. So I'm not saying that you can't go out and get in a relationship. I understand as a general rule, yes, it's dangerous, but if you are going to get into a relationship, try to make sure it's with somebody who's not in recovery. Just try to make sure it's with somebody who doesn't have the addiction problem. And if it is somebody, again, we can't help it. If it is somebody, make sure they got some period, a significant period of sobriety under their belt, because at the end of the day, they may just be able to help you on your journey. So there we go. With that being said, I'll let you guys go. Thank you guys for letting me come in and share 5 to 10 minutes of your day with you. You guys absolutely keep me sober, and I could not be any more appreciative. If you guys have a topic you'd like to hear discussed, drop it in the Recovery Classroom private group Facebook page. We maintain anonymity there, and there's a whole bunch of us in the background that can take a look at it and see what we can do. Again, tonight's Crosstalk meeting, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. You can join us. Just type in crosstalkmeeting.org to find out how to connect, or you go to recoveryclassroom.org/XTO, and we'll be there tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. So once again, guys, thank you guys for letting me come in. We'll be talking again soon. Remember, you can't get drunk if you don't take that first drink.